Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 4th of September and we are going to deal with two very important topics which are in news. The Digital Agriculture Mission. Now, digitalization has been diffused in many domains of life. It promotes ease of life, transparency, accountability, and efficiency. That domain where most of our workforce is involved would not be left devoid of digitalization. And with this thinking, the government has implemented the Digital Agriculture Mission. This mission focuses on giving digital identity to the farmers, assessing the soil health digitally, and mapping the land resources, the facilities over there in a digital format. This aims at increasing the agricultural productivity as well as the income of the farmers. Next is India plans $15 billion for investment in the semiconductor chip domain. Semiconductor chips are the new age products which are very hot. Very hot means that they are going to be in demand for the next 30-40 years. Unfortunately, India currently is dependent upon semiconductor chips on other countries like China. But since the last 2 or 3 years, India has been aggressively focusing upon becoming Atmanirbhar in this domain. We have partnered with countries like Taiwan, Japan, and USA for this purpose. In the times to come, we will see the semiconductor fabrication plants as well as semiconductor chip assembly plants both being established in India. Now, coming on to the first topic, Digital Agriculture Mission. Now, digitalization is something which Government of India has endorsed and adopted very aggressively since 2015. 2015 was the launch year of the Digital India Mission. Digital India Mission has 9 pillars, and one of the pillars is e-governance, means electronic delivery of services to the people. Aadhaar is the backbone of India's digital public infrastructure. In fact, in last year's G20 summit, India was promoting its digital public infrastructure and was wanting other countries should adopt it. UPI is a classic example of India's digital public infrastructure. The world has started acknowledging India's digital transformation. Many countries, developing, underdeveloped, and surprisingly, some developed countries are also wanting the expertise from India to be applied over there in their respective countries. They are actually struggling with their digital transformation. Multiple domains like service delivery, healthcare, education, digitalization has impacted one and all. And now is the time of agriculture to feel the impacts of digitalization. Digitalization has not only increased transparency and accountability, but has also increased efficiency. Digitalization has also enabled ease of life of the people as well as the other stakeholders who are all involved in that particular domain. So let's see how agriculture is going to be impacted. First of all, the financial outlay for this is rupees 2817 crore rupees. Digital Agriculture Mission it is called as. It is aimed at creating digital public infrastructure in the agricultural sector. Digital public infrastructure is that infrastructure which is open to the public, means open to use for all, and it is a digital platform. That is simple what it is. The initiative follows the success of similar e-governance projects like Aadhaar and UPI. So, use of technology for improving farmers' lives. As I told you, ease of life. Total outlay 2817 crore rupees. It comprises of two foundational pillars: Agri Stack, Krishi Decision Support System, and the mission has provisions for soil profile, digital crop estimation, and such like. Now, the objectives of this mission. The digital public infrastructure, basically having three main components over here, like Agri Stack, Krishi Decision Support System, soil profile maps. Mission will also establish digital general crop estimation survey for accurate agriculture production estimates. So all these three major components we will see, and then we will also see this digital general crop estimation survey, which this digital public infrastructure aims to create in the digital agricultural mission. Now, components, agri stack. First, farmers registry. Purpose to give a unique identity to each farmer. Just like Aadhaar has given a unique identity to each resident of India. So here, digital identity is created for farmers similar to Aadhaar. Implementation, farmers will receive a digital ID that links to a comprehensive database containing their personal and agricultural details, like how much land they own, which kind of crops they are growing, are they eligible for PM Kisan Yojana or not. All these kind of things there will be there in that agri stack or in that farmers registry portal. Pilot projects trials have been conducted in districts such as Farokhabad in Uttar Pradesh, Gandhinagar in Gujarat. The goal is to create digital IDs for 11 crore farmers. Funding rupees 5,000 crore has been allocated separately for state incentives to develop farmers registry. So there's a separate fund allocated for creating farmers registry. Then crop sown registry, which crops are sown, where, in what area, by whom, that also will be there. Purpose, track and record crop planting information through digital surveys. Method, mobile based ground surveys will be used to gather data each crop season. This registry will help in assessing crop patterns and planning agricultural policies. Like for example, we are seeing that the net sown area under pulses is less, which is leading us to import pulses from other countries. So what kind of agricultural policies we can see or we can formulate by knowing this data from the crop zone registry? We can increase the incentives for farmers who are going for pulses production. We can increase the MSP for that. We can reduce the input costs if you are growing pulses of fertilizers and all. So that will motivate the farmers. Policy alterations can be done so that net sown area under pulses increases. If this increases, obviously our imports reduce. So that is going how it is going to impact. Just an example which I told you. Pilot projects conducted across 11 states in 2023-24 with plans to expand to 400 districts in the current financial year and the rest in 2025-26. Geo-referenced village maps link geographic data with land records to provide accurate mapping of agricultural areas. So basically, it is digital land records and all. These maps will integrate land records with physical locations, improving land management and agricultural planning. So we'll get to know how much land is where, how much land is getting diverted from agricultural to non-agricultural purposes, and all these things will be there. The second component is going to be Krishi Decision Support System. Purpose, develop a geospatial system that integrates information on crops, soil, weather, and water resources. Actually, this is all what the farmer wants. What kind of crops to grow, what is the soil health like, and how is the weather going to be like, what is the weather predictions, and what are the available water resources. Features, crop mapping, generate detailed crop maps to identify planting patterns and monitor agricultural trends. Disaster monitoring, track droughts, floods, and other environmental factors affecting the crops. And yield assessment, use data to estimate crop yields, aiding in insurance claims and policy formulations. For example, if yields and all they fail, so the average yield output of that particular land over the previous years, what it has been, and accordingly, insurance compensation and all will be paid to the farmers so that the farmers can be insulated from crop losses. That is also one of the objective of. Then third is soil profile maps. Create detailed soil maps to enhance soil management and agricultural productivity. Soil health is something which is of a lot of concern with the excessive usage of fertilizers, pesticides, and such. The soil health has started deteriorating in multiple parts of the country. Maintaining a good soil health is obviously a sustainable practice. A good soil health will obviously lead to increased agricultural productivity. So that soil health is also being monitored under this. Details, maps will be produced on a 1 to 10,000 scale covering 142 million hectares of agricultural land. Progress, a soil profile inventory of 29 million hectares has already been completed with further mapping underway. So the soil profile maps will be created. Now, digital general crop estimation survey. This estimation survey will be done every year so that, government could give out that this is the estimate. This year we are going to produce this much food crop. And we then after that, how much we actually receive, we will assess the gaps in the estimate. What were the reasons behind those gaps? Like for example, climate change, global warming induced disasters, they are increasing year by year. So are they responsible? If they are responsible, how to make our crops disaster resilient or climate resilient? All these research and developments also can be done. The main aim is to increase productivity, ensure food security. That is the main aim. Purpose: improve the accuracy of crop yield estimates to support agricultural policies and services. Features: data collection. Use scientifically designed crop cutting experiments and remote sensing data to estimate yields. Benefits: it provides accurate data for minimum support price, based procurement, crop insurance, and credit linked loans. All these things can also be decided through this survey. What can we keep the MSPs if, let's suppose, the estimates are showing that in the next season the pulses production are going to be more because the net sown area under it is more. So accordingly, MSP and all can be declared. All these things can also be uh, impacted in a positive manner for the farmers. Now, funding and implementation of this particular mission. Budget allocation, as we saw, it is 2817 crore rupees allocated, with 1940 crore coming from the central government and the remainder from the state government. So, state governments are also contributing, union territories are also contributing. Timeline: mission will be rolled out over 2 years, concluding in 2025-26, being rolled out in 2024. Originally planned for 2021-22, the launch was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Current status: pilot projects are in progress. We saw that for multiple pillars of this particular mission, the pilot projects are in progress, and the mission is part of the Agriculture Ministry's goal for the first 100 days of Modi government's third term. So that was part of it, and that is why it has been rolled out. Impact on farmers and agriculture: there will be enhanced efficiency, definitely. Digitalization increases efficiency. Efficiency in, I would say, productivity, efficiency in I would say, data collection and policy formulation. Everything will be streamlined. Improved data accuracy will be there because real time data will be collected and that data will be digitally stored, accessible in real time to the people. Empowerment: digital tools will empower farmers with accurate information and services like weather prediction and all these things will be delivered to the farmers. So that is how things can be impacted with respect to the farmers. The next is also a very critical area, that is semiconductor chip manufacturing. This board, the camera, the mobile phone, this mic, everything has a semiconductor chip. Even your vehicles have a semiconductor chip. So semiconductor chips are very essential in a digital era. Just now we talked about digital agriculture mission. Obviously, the digital products over there, the hardware which we will be using, will be having semiconductor chips. Without them, no digital product can work. And this essentially highlights the importance of this particular product. But unfortunately, India does not have manufacturing capability of semiconductor chips. India is dependent upon other countries from where it imports semiconductor chips like China. But India has rightly taken the decision a few years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, that they want to become Atmanirbhar in semiconductor chip making. Initially, there was a $10 billion outlay. Now, there is a $15 billion mega plan for semiconductor chips. This is a bold move and a much needed one. This marks a significant rise from the $10 billion allocated for the first phase. Now it is $15 million. The push aims to enhance India's presence in the global semiconductor industry. Now, semiconductor chips will be manufactured for the Indian market, no doubt about this fact, but we are also going to manufacture semiconductor chips with the aim of exporting them to other countries. So that will also increase our influence in the global sphere. Key developments, major investments and partnerships. So as of now, what have been the major investments? Tata Group's fab plant. Fab means fabrication plant. That is a more complex plant which basically creates that green sheet or that semiconductor fabrication. Tata, in partnership with Taiwan's Power Chip Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, is setting up India's first commercial semiconductor fabrication plant with an investment exceeding rupees 91,000 crore. Then we have assembly and testing plants where assembly is done of those parts on the semiconductor fabricated, I would say, sheet which we get. The government has approved 3 additional assembly and testing plants ATMPs we call them, and OSATs. These plants, less complex than fabrication plants, focus on assembling and testing semiconductor components. Micron Technology of USA, the first ATMP approved in June 2023 with Narendra Modi's visit to USA. This was approved over there. Tata's Assam facility, Tata is also building an assembly plant in Assam. So Tata is building a fabrication plant, Tata is building an assembly plant also. CG Power and Murugappa Group. The third facility is a joint venture between CG Power and Industrial Solutions, part of the Murugappa Group, and Japan's Renesas Electronics. So countries like Japan, USA and Taiwan are helping us in becoming Atmanirbhar in this domain. Financial commitments, total project cost. The combined cost for these four projects exceeds rupees 1.48 lakh crore. It is an expensive affair. Probably that is why we were not having these kind of plants earlier here in India. Government subsidies, the central government will contribute nearly rupees 59,000 crore in capital expenditure subsidies. Out of 1.48 lakh crore rupees, government will be contributing 59,000 crore rupees. State governments are enhancing the appeal of these projects by offering land and electricity at reduced rates to those companies. Like the government of Assam is very much being supportive for the Tata Group to establish its plant over there. Obviously, it will generate a lot of jobs over there. Now, importance of chip making. Why it is important? As I told you that it is basically a product for the present and the future also. It has geopolitics also involved in it because China during the, I would say, post-COVID years or when we were recovering in 2021-22, it highlighted the supply chain constraints and said that we cannot export semiconductor chips to you, India, and India desperately needed those semiconductor chips for its automobile industry. There was basically an impact on the automobile industry. Probably China did not like the fact that our economy was bouncing back on track faster than theirs. So this is something like this. Economic and strategic significance. Current landscape, India currently has minimal involvement in semiconductor manufacturing. Major production is concentrated in Taiwan and United States, with US investing around $50 billion and the EU also offering substantial incentives in that. Strategic goals, building domestic fabrication capabilities is crucial for economic growth and strategic autonomy. We will not have to be dependent upon other countries, and we can provide these semiconductor chips and all to the developing and underdeveloped world, that is the global south. So we can increase our influence over them. So we will not play dirty politics with them. We'll just do business with them, provide them, take the money, that is it. So that they can also develop, because digitalization everyone needs. Geopolitical context, there's a global tension between USA and China, and semiconductor chips definitely are at the forefront of that. Let's not forget EVs. The semiconductor chips are used there as well, but there are certain limitations. First is the technological limitations. Node sizes. The Tata PSMC fabrication plant will not produce cutting edge semiconductor nodes. This technology requires advanced capabilities not yet available with these partners. High barriers. The semiconductor industry faces high entry barriers despite significant investments like those made by China in Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation, SMIC. Achieving technological advancements in small node size remains challenging. So there are some technological limitations with respect to the entry in this, and the collaborations which with the companies which we have done with, they are not having access to that cutting edge technology which other countries like USA and China are having right now. But anyways, it will be a start, and with this start, we can go ahead and have access to that technology, maybe better technology than that if we focus too much on research and development over here in India. Then technological innovation. Innovation needs are there. Manufacturing advanced semiconductor nodes involves a high level of technological innovation, and that technological innovation has to be there with a lot of amount of research and development, where India is currently a bit lacking, but yes, we can catch up. Now the MCQs on based on these two topics. First, which of the following are the components of digital public infrastructure for farmers? AgriStack, soil profile maps, e-commerce for agriculture. You have to find the correct combination. Be very careful in doing that. Second, the component of agri stack in DPI for agriculture deals with which of the following? Giving a digital identity to farmers, digital mapping of land records, digital survey of crop planting. Again, correct combination you have to find out. Third, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. The Digital Agri Mission is completely funded by the center. The Digital Agri Mission aims to improve soil health, among other things. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. Consider the following statements with respect to semiconductor chip manufacturing plants and mark the correct one. Semiconductor chip fabrication plants are more complex than assembly plants. Tata Group has invested in a semiconductor fabrication plant. One and two, neither one nor two. And last question, which of the following can be considered as the advantages of domestic semiconductor chip manufacturing? Atmanirbharta first. Second is economic development in the country. Third is strategic autonomy. Correct combination you have to find out. Be very careful, be very attentive while answering these questions. Now the answers to the MCQs of yesterday. Consider the following statements and mark the correct one. First is INS Arighat is India's first nuclear powered submarine. No, INS Arighat is not. It was INS Arihant basically. INS Arighat can launch nuclear missiles. Yes, it can launch nuclear missiles. So B is the correct answer. That is only 2. What are the probable benefits of a nuclear fired submarine? Means that submarine which has a nuclear power plant, which runs on a nuclear power plant, it can be submerged for longer hours. Yes. Its propulsion will be relatively silent as compared to diesel fired submarines. That is why they are not able to be detected under the sonar radars as well. So both, that is C is the correct answer for this. Which of the following countries has nuclear fired submarine commissioned? So as I told you, there are only 6 countries, the permanent 5 countries, that is USA, UK, France, Russia, China, and India is the 6th country. Only 6 countries. Australia will be getting it because that deal, AUKUS, Australia, UK, US was signed, in which Australia will be getting this. So as of now, it does not have. So Australia gets ruled out. France, Japan, and China. Out of this, Japan also gets ruled out. Japan is not part of permanent 5 and Japan then does not have it. So it is only France and China. So 2 and 4 is going to be the correct answer for this. That is C. Fourth, consider the following comparisons between INS Arihant and INS Arighat. Mark the correct ones which are correct. Mark the ones which are correct. INS Arighat can carry more K-15 missiles than INS Arihant. Yes, it is true. I told you also this explicitly. INS Arighat is completely indigenous, whereas INS Arihant is not. No, neither of them is completely indigenous. 60% of the components for making INS Arighat are sourced indigenously. 30% of the components for making INS Arihant way back in 2016 were sourced indigenously. None of them is completely indigenously, but yes, INS Arighat is more indigenous than INS Arihant. This can be stated. So this statement is wrong. First statement is correct. Which of the following countries is landlocked? This was not discussed, but yes, L for landlocked, L for Laos in Southeast Asia is landlocked. You have to memorize it in this way. You can memorize it in this way, sorry. So C is going to be the correct answer, and Laos was the country where those 47 Indians were rescued, which were scammed into causing digital scams worldwide. So with this, we come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Not repeating it today. Namaste. Jai.